Social media is currently amok over photos of opposition leaders Joseph Boakai and Benona Yuri in a chartered private jet heading towards Nigeria. In the photo shoots, Ambassador Boakai, Benona Yuri, and Tilia Yuri are seen on board a private jet as part of a private engagement. Several individuals have taken to the social media criticizing Joseph Boakai and Benona Yuri, who always frowned at President Weah for riding private jets during some of his foreign trips. The critics wonder why would the opposition leaders engage into acts they often condemn others of doing. They claimed such action portrays how all politicians are. Amid the criticisms, Unity Party Secretary General Amos Stewart told OKFM that the private jet belongs to a friend of Joseph Boakai who lives in Nigeria. According to Amos, the former vice president is currently visiting some of his friends within the sub-regional area of the African continent who extended invitation to him, and one of those friends is the owner of the private jet upon which Joseph Boakai and Benona Yuri used to travel throughout Nigeria. Ahead of the U.S.-Africa Summit, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has encouraged U.S. President Joe Biden to discourage African leaders from overstaying in power. Former President Sirleaf stated, though she had some disappointments in handling over power after her tenure as president of LIBERIA, it was the right thing to do. According to her, the disappointments should not be the reasons for African leaders to overstay in power, and therefore calls on President Biden to inform the African leaders about the need for peaceful transition of leadership. Madam Sirleaf further mentioned that turning over power leads to the protection and sustenance of peace and democracy. She spoke during a panel discussion at a USA panel discussion ahead of the US-Africa Leaders Summit. An OKFM investigation has uncovered that numbers of female partisans of the Congress for Democratic Change were brutalized on the alleged order of Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Koijee at a just-ended controversial convention of the party's Women Congress. The investigation revealed that the women resisted Mayor Koijee's choice at the convention, an act which led the mayor to reportedly order the group known as Zebra Unit to beat on the women. According to top sources, the CDC women chair of Nimba and Bowman County sustained deep injuries on their legs, while severe pains were inflicted on other women as a result of the brutality. Some of the women who begged not to be named for fear of their security said the CDC had warned them not to come public with the information, but they can no longer remain silent as the conditions of their colleagues worsened by the day. The angry women, some of whom were beaten by the thugs, promised to resist the CDC if nothing is done by the party's leadership. Meanwhile, Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Koijee denied his involvement with the alleged brutality and urged the women who were reportedly victimized to use the party's internal mechanism in resolving the issue. Mayor Koijee admitted to his presence at the climax of the Women's Convention, but could not state whether there was any violent act that led to pains being inflicted on some of the women. Jefferson Koijee is now the Secretary General of the Congress for Democratic Change.